What's going on, guys? It's Tom. I'm back with another video. Listen, on this video, I wanted to talk about, you know, if you have like serious health issues, right? Like you're in your Western country, wherever that may be, and you're older, right? You're over 50, you're over 60, especially. You got like serious health issues. You really want to think about four times before you come here to live in the Philippines because, and not just, I don't know, like not just for the medical resources that are here, which are, there's good hospitals here. There's probably at least one pretty good hospital in any major city here. But forget about the province though. If you're living in the province and you're kind of far from the city, where whatever island you're living on, you're going to be out of luck. You're going to be like some clinic or some small clinic or some public hospital or something. And that's a serious crapshoot, when you're talking about anything that could be perceived as serious, a health issue. So, you know, I, I mean, you know what I mean? If you've already got like pre-existing, you know, serious conditions, it's probably not a good idea to come here, to live. It's just, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, No Country for Old Men. uh, this is kind of like, you know, it's kind of a good saying for this country, and even if you're in Manila, man, I mean, I'm in Manila, but you still have to be careful here, and there's like trip hazards everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, and this is a place where there's probably the best infrastructure in the country, right? Is here, Manila, whether it's, just any other part of Manila, Quezon City, where I'm at. And there's still, it's still not quite like Western, style. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes there's a lot of people. You're in crowds when you're walking outside or whatever. You just have to kind of be careful. You always have to have situational awareness. And if you're like older and you're not used to that, having to, especially if you're from a small town in the West or in the U.S., especially, or a suburb even, and you've never lived in a city, and hardly ever go to a city like in the U.S. or whatever, even, then this is going to be a challenge here, man. Like more than a challenge. You know what I mean? Like, and you better, and I tell you what, even if you have some other issues, you definitely need to have money in the bank. The more the merrier. You know what I mean when it comes to that, because it's not necessarily dirt cheap here. If something does happen, you do have some kind of medical event. It ain't gonna be like $500. For like something serious. You know what I mean? You know, uh, so you better have a lot. Have a decent amount of money, man. You know, like I say, I mean, and I've said it before, but you really should have at least $50,000 USD in reserve, like to minimum. Really. You know. And then as far as the income goes, 2,000 a month. If you don't want to have to worry about, stuff, and living in a van down by the river, living in a Nipa hut. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that, right? I mean, how many older Western guys are going to want to sort of live, a real sort of semi-primitive lifestyle, Not many, you know. Um, and I know there's a gentleman out there that, he's done some videos. He's been here for not too long, I think a year or two. I think he's been here. And he talks about how his budget or his expenses are like 600 a month, and he does live like in the province. And I think he may own his home, even though it's a small home. It's almost like a Filipino style home, really. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, that's great. That your bare bones expenses might be 600 a month. You know what I mean? And especially if you don't have a rent or mortgage, which obviously, I don't think he does. Maybe he does, and it's a small amount. It's like 4,000 pesos a month or something. $70 a month. But I watched this guy, and he's a nice guy. He's got an interesting channel and everything. But in one of his early interviews, he says, like he's got about $1,850 a month coming in. So these dollar figures that he's giving is just like bare bones expenses, and it really can't include travel. And he travels a lot. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that's not included. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way that travel could be included in that 600 a month. That's where that additional money that he has, comes into play. And the only reason I bring this up is, I mean, yeah, it's interesting, right? Oh, let's see what this guy has to say about this, this low amount, this low budget that we can live on in the Philippines and all that. But my concern, right, whenever I make a video, man, I'm always just thinking, like, I don't want to misdirect somebody back in the U.S., I don't want some guy that's over there and is really wanting to maybe come here to live, who's only got maybe $1,000 a month and $5,000 in the bank, and he's 64 years old or whatever, right? Even if he doesn't have health issues or serious health issues, I don't want him watching my videos and then like coming over here and, oh yeah, Tom said you can do this and do that, and then I hate and then 6 months later the guy's like living on the street here in the Philippines, which is you don't want to do. You think being homeless in the U.S. is bad? Like here, the only good thing is the warm weather. But I mean, it could be pretty rough. So I just don't. I'm always cognizant of that. I mean, they don't call it social influencing for nothing, right? We're here. We have a platform, and however many, doesn't matter how many subs we have or how many views we get. I don't want to misdirect one person out there. You know what I mean? And if I can help one person, right, make a good decision, it's all worth it. Doing this is worth it. That's the way I feel, okay? So anyway, that's why I sometimes bring up and I don't mention names, and like I said, the guy's a nice guy. I'm not saying nothing bad about him personally or nothing like that. But I mean, it's just kind of an example of, there's guys out there that hear what they want to hear, you know what I mean? And then they're going to think that, oh, I could come there and, live on, 800 a month or 600 a month or even 1,000 a month is kind of like low, That's like really bare bones, man, like you really want to stick to like at least 2,000 a month if you can help it, But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this, you know what I mean? Because I've heard other vloggers recently talking about, you really do need to have a lot more money here, for medical, because he had an event recently that cost a decent amount of money, And he was totally right, man, totally correct in that, But the only thing that I didn't hear from him was that, the guy did have issues when he came here to live, I mean, you know what I mean? If you're an older guy and you're overweight and you've already got health issues, and you smoke, that's, man, listen, and I'm only going to say this once, but smoking constricts your blood vessels. So you got a lot higher chance of having a heart attack or a stroke if you're still smoking. You're smoking. I've been smoking for 45 years, and you're like 65 years old or whatever, right? That's not a good idea. You're going to be in for some, you're going to be in for some trouble probably. I mean, and it's kind of like, it's one of those deals that, to me, it's a no-win situation, right? You're either going to get something like I said, stroke, heart attack, lung cancer. And if you don't get that, then you're going to get emphysema. And you're going to be carting around a oxygen bottle. Or I know they're smaller now, right? You know, they make them like these little compressed, you know, oxygen or whatever. But hey, whatever, man. That you're going to have to do that. You're going to have the tubes in your nose and all that, walking around. Not a good idea. Not a good idea anywhere, whether you're in the U.S. or especially here in the Philippines, you know. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to talk about this, you know, briefly and just kind of give you my thoughts on it, you know. And that's really about it, guys. I think I got another video coming out too that I'm gonna be doing here. I usually space them out every 2-3 days, you know. I try to do at least 2 a week, and that might increase. You know, I used to do 3, you know, when I first started doing this. But anyway, that's it, guys. So stay tuned. There'll be more. And the next one's going to be on kind of vacation related, you know, suggestions from me, you know. So, all right, man. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share if you know anyone who would be interested in this information. All right. I'll see you guys later.